Hi, I'm Delusion Dispeller. You may have noticed a few videos posted recently that suddenly disappeared. Well, that was because you could not hear them and I couldn't hear them. And what good is video information if you can't make out what the person's saying, right? Right. Okay, so I'm going to redo the videos one at a time and post them as I do. This would be part 1 of generalized anxiety disorder and narcissistic personality disorder, as they are compared, contrasted, similar traits, different traits, how they operate, what the reactions look like, etc. So let's begin. First of all, I was doing some research and I found a little bit of information through my research, but also some of this is just my personal belief about generalized anxiety disorder and narcissistic personality disorder, of how I see them working in people that I know, people that I have counseled, coached, I guess you could say more than counseled, coached. And I'm going to be talking about different aspects of these two disorders and how the basic premise is that I think narcissistic personality disorder stems from anxiety. How does it? Let's find out. First of all, there are similarities and differences between generalized anxiety and narcissistic personality traits, but there's also similarities in the reactions. And as I was studying generalized anxiety disorder, I realized that anxiety has gotten very high in society nowadays anyways, so it's a useful topic to know about. I have found that narcissism also is high in society, but narcissism seems to stem from the original anxiety. So I don't think it would be far-fetched to say that somebody with NPD could also have generalized anxiety disorder. I'm not saying that everybody with GAD also is a narcissist, but I do think a lot of narcissists have anxiety issues, especially generalized anxiety. So we're going to examine the traits of generalized anxiety disorder, and we're going to talk about some of the reactions and what that looks like when it plays out with people. First of all, the obsession in both cases, but for different reasons. With somebody with GAD, they can obsess over good and bad things. For instance, the best scenario I can give you is riding in a car with somebody next to you in the passenger seat that has generalized anxiety disorder. I've experienced this several times when I had a car. I don't have a car right now, but when I was driving a car, I had a couple people with me at different times that have GAD. What it's like is this: you're driving down the road to your picnic or whatever, and the person next to you begins breathing very, very hard and kind of panicking, and you can hear this. They're like, and they might like grab onto the door, like the handle, and you're like, I'm not driving that fast, what's going on? And they might like take a breath and look at you and say, don't you see how close you are to that car? And you're like, what? Close? I'm like car lengths away. What are you talking about? Oh my gosh, you're like getting so close. I'm afraid you're going to hit them. You're going to kill both of us. Or at least I'm going to end up in the hospital, and then I'm going to have to tell my boss that I can't come into work, and then I'm going to lose my job, and it's going to be terrible, and I don't like talking to my boss because he's kind of mean, and you just really need to watch where you're going. Don't get so close. Move over to the side of the road. Watch what you're doing. Watch it. And this person is like shouting in your ear while you're trying to remain calm, probably use your childbirth breathing techniques to keep from clobbering them or just getting really upset with them. And that is pretty much what it looks like with somebody that has GAD riding in a car. Their perceptions are off. They see things as a lot more hazardous than they are at times. And it's very frustrating if you don't have GAD, because you know they're exaggerating. And if you're the one driving the car, you can see how fast or far you're going and how close you are. But the person in the passenger seat, even a normal person in the passenger seat that doesn't have a disorder, I don't mean to say normal by defaming anybody that has a disorder, so please don't take it that way, but somebody that does not have the disorder sitting in a passenger seat, their perception is going to be off anyways, because it just is. When you're driving, your perception is different from the passenger seat to the driver's seat. But couple that with anxiety and fears and whatever their mind is telling them, you have the makings of somebody almost grabbing the steering wheel out of your hands to get you to steer over to the other side of the road. Can be very dangerous and frustrating, like I said. Now, somebody with narcissistic personality disorder, let's talk about them with obsession. If a narcissist even perceives, for instance, that you are comparing them to someone else in a way that is not how they wish you to see them or wish the other people to see them, they will literally have almost a narcissistic meltdown. They will become angry, sullen. They may give you the silent treatment. They may put you down. They may call you names. To them, having people only believe the very best, that they are the best, the tops, the utmost, the most wonderful person at whatever they're doing, that is most important to them. It's all about image, image, image with them. It's about how you make them look. It's about what other people think of them or believe about them, because a narcissist creates a false image and they want everybody to believe that that's really them. So it can get very frustrating to have a narcissistic person in your life at any given time. I didn't compare them in the driver's seat, passenger seat scenario, and I'm not going to definitely compare everything exact, but it just kind of gives you an idea of how the obsession works in both cases, and the fact that narcissists obsess because they want to protect a false image of themselves. People with GAD obsess because, frankly, they're paranoid. They're just very scared almost of their own shadow, and they're scared of their own perceptions, that you don't perceive the way they do. They perceive impending doom that's not there, and they react to it. So stay tuned. I'll talk more on these topics.